right, go ahead.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Rick Garcia. I want to say thank you to Zaida and all her friends that she invited, most of all because she has found this location for us to have this event here. I just want to mention very briefly that I've been working with Brandon Ivey since we were both with Vital. We attended a convention 2 years ago in July, August of 2012, and we were bought out by Shopping Sherlock. And that's my background. I'm just starting to get back into this, but I think this is a wonderful opportunity. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Brandon.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning.
Great, great. And also good morning and good afternoon and good evening to everybody internationally. We're streaming this live. We are a worldwide company, so every time we have a local event, we want to make sure that those individuals who are not able to make it out live can also participate in what we have that's going on. So we have people here from all over the place. I want to hear, what cities are you from? I know we have Leovi from Hemet. Where else do we have? Where are you from? I know you came all the way from Temecula, right?
Murrieta.
Murrieta. Who came from the farthest distance? Who's the biggest? West Covina?
West Covina.
Los Angeles?
North Hills.
North Hills?
Wow.
Fantastic, fantastic. Where is Jorge? Invited up by Ryan Miller. All right. Ryan wanted to make sure that I got to meet you, so welcome. We also have our esteemed CEO from Santa Monica, California, Mr. Michael Wiedder is out here today. Right. And this is our very first official Shopping Sherlock event we're proud to do in the Los Angeles area. We do a local meeting in Alhambra every Tuesday night with the local group out there, which everybody is invited to attend. But this is the first official meeting, and it's so fitting that this is right in our own backyard. You know, the majority of this company is not even in California. But we want to build a presence here because once you have a foothold in Southern California, you have a foothold for the rest of the world. And you're looking at Shopping Sherlock in Southern California right now with 13 to 15 million people. And this is the room for it. So it's wide open. A little bit of background about myself. I've been in network marketing now for 16 years. I got started my senior year in college and right out of school. Had a lot of failures, had a few successes, but the successes have allowed me to retire at the age of 36 years old and work full-time from home. And it was a great, great accomplishment, and I was very excited about that and helped a lot of people have success. But one thing, and I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you, is that my background is not much different from many of yours. You know, I was taught that if I want to have financial freedom in America, there's a couple of things that I must do. That's go to school, get good grades, and get a good, safe, secure job. A job that will take care of you for the rest of your life. How many of you have been taught that? 100%, right? And that's what I did. I graduated from Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm lucky to have my high school buddies here that I went to high school with. Me and Charles, we just celebrated our 20-year high school reunion. Like, wow, I'm only 38 years old, 20 years already. And Kelvin Moody went to a rival high school of mine. We've been together for like 20 years now in business. But I graduated from Morehouse College, went to corporate America, and got laid off twice. How many of you have been laid off before? And if you haven't, I guarantee you know somebody who has, and chances are you're putting in more time, more hours, more effort, and you better not even ask for a raise because you're lucky to have a job in the first place, right? Let's talk about those lucky few. The federal government states that 97% of all Americans will retire broke, depending on family, government, and friends by the age of 65. 97%. We have 10,000 baby boomers retiring a day. A trend that's going to continue for the next 10 years. So I don't need to convince you that the economy is not doing so well right now. But here's the good news. We live in a day and age where there's opportunity for everybody, not just Americans, but all over the world because of something called the internet. And so the choice is not, should you have a plan B? It's, where should I have my plan B? There's a lot of businesses out there. So when you look at a business, you've got to choose the right business that's in the right industry, that has the right product and service, that has the right leadership, that's looking to be a long-term, steady legacy business. That's what I was looking for, and Shopping Sherlock came our way. And when it came our way, I was nervous about it at first because I'd never heard of it before, even in my own backyard. I didn't understand online shopping. I didn't understand e-commerce. But having to be able to sit down with Michael Wiedder shared with me the vision of the company, the vision of where the industry is. There is no place else I can be. I don't care what other businesses are doing out there. Nothing compares to what we have planned out for the next 20 years. So this is indeed the opportunity that you have been looking for. You see, the internet isn't a fad. It is a platform and an evolution for communication, commerce, and culture. The internet's 25 years old. How many of you were on the internet 20 years ago? Michael Wiedder was.
Yeah.
I followed. What about 10 years ago? A little bit college 10 years. What about now? How many of you are on the internet now? Look around.
Can't get off.
Everybody. Here's a better yet. How many of you will be able to survive without the internet for a week? My wife can't survive with a couple of hours. If the internet goes down, the Time Warner cable messes up, she's freaking out. And we're talking, it could be 1 o'clock in the morning. She lays on her bed with the laptop and it's out and she's screaming bloody murder. I'm like, just go to sleep. It'll be up by the morning. But the internet is so pervasive in our lives that whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, it is a fact. It is here to stay. It is not going anywhere. Social media, business, commerce, the way we communicate. I was just in college not too long ago, but the kids today, they're able to look at each other through their phones and communicate. I was writing letters to my girlfriend back in college. It wasn't that long ago. But the internet's not going anywhere. In 2025, it's going to be considered a utility. It's going to be considered a natural right, not a luxury for us. So there's also no secret that a lot of money is being made on the internet. Have you heard of these guys? Google, Amazon, Facebook. What about YouTube? What about Twitter? These companies are multi-billion-dollar corporations. But what's the one thing that they have in common besides being on the internet? I'll tell you, this may shock you. They give their product away for free. Think about that. They give their product away for free. Do you want to know how Alibaba beat out eBay in China? Alibaba decided to give its product away for free, and eBay said free is not a business model. Yet Alibaba now is the biggest IPO in American history. Obviously, the free model works. They figured it out. We're going to come back to that in a moment, how that works. But how would you like to make money on the internet just like the big guys do? See, introducing to you the next giant web innovation. It's called Shopping Sherlock. And if you've never heard of it, great. That means there's opportunity, more so than you ever thought of before. And we're taking advantage of something called e-commerce. Now, I've been in Shopping Sherlock now just a little over a year. And as much as I pride myself on knowing the industry, I was ignorant to what e-commerce was and how big it was. See, e-commerce is the fastest growing industry on the planet today. It is the greatest economic shift in wealth in the history of mankind. We call this the modern day gold rush, the second industrial revolution. We are at the beginning of a 10-year golden age of e-commerce growth, and it's not going to happen again. How many of you were able to sit around when Facebook first got started? Were you invited to the boardrooms of Microsoft and Apple? What about when they decided to start doing email? What about the first industrial revolution? Anybody there during that time, or the first gold rush? No. But you're here right now, and it's happening right now. After one whole year of research, I consider I have a PhD in this industry now. And I can't imagine, I was just talking to Charles about that right now. If you want third-party verification, you don't have to look at us. Just turn on the news. You see e-commerce taking place everywhere. So if you're still confused what that means, it means this. No longer, come on up. There's seats up here. I see you, Rhonda. Here's what's taking place. Commerce means that all of us put gas in our car, we drive down to our local stores and shops, and we go shopping, we spend money. But here's the deal. Because of convenience, the internet has allowed us to pick up our devices, to access the internet, to be able to do shopping online from the comfort of our own home and buy products that our local city may not even have. Because face it, in different countries, there's not a Walmart on every corner. So now you can have products shipped to you from anywhere around the world right to your doorstep. That's the trend that's taking place now. How many of you in this room have ever searched or bought anything online? Look around. 100%. Online sales in 2013 was a record-breaking $1.3 trillion. In 2002, that was a $52 billion industry. Now that's impressive at $52 billion. But in a decade, you went from that to $1 trillion, and we're growing at 20% a year, this industry. I love what Michael Wiedder says. You know, in the next couple of years, it's going to be a $5 trillion industry. If we just had 1/10 of 0.5%, we're a multi-billion-dollar company. Just a crumb off the table. Awakening the mobile giant within. How many of you have mobile phones? Everybody. Think about that. What about 10 years ago? Not too many. Look around. Not too many. You did 10 years ago. What about 20 years ago, back in high school? You know, when I was back in high school, you only had pagers, right? Well, for us, you had to be a drug dealer, a hooker, or a prostitute to have a pager, right? Today, pagers is obsolete. I still have an old two-way pager. And my son found it, and he was like, what is this? And this is how far technology has grown. But the mobile giant, which means m-commerce, is growing even faster within e-commerce. Because no longer are we tied to the internet through our computers. Remember, when you leave your house, you're disconnected. Now with these mobile devices, we take the internet with us, wherever we go. The phones today, how many of you are actually using the phone to talk on the phone? As opposed to searching Facebook, the internet, you know, all the mobile apps. Talking is secondary. These things are so advanced today. When I was back in college and I had to come home for break, my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she's from Philadelphia, I'm from Los Angeles. Long distance, we couldn't afford. We're broke college kids. So how did we communicate? We communicated by writing letters. And as archaic as it may sound, it wasn't that long ago. My son found our old letters. I'm like, what? One conversation took 2 weeks between ourselves. Today I have a young group that call themselves the new generation in Florida. They're all in college kids. They all speak to each other through mobile apps where they can see each other, FaceTime and all that other good stuff. If we had that back in the day, whoo. But this is a huge industry, and Facebook figured it out. See, in the 2011, 100% of all revenue for Facebook was being generated through desktop computers. That's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. 2.5 years later, 59% of all revenue is generated through Facebook. 59%. Such huge growth that they now consider themselves a mobile app company. And Shopping Sherlock did the same thing. 6 weeks ago, we launched our very own mobile app that you can download on your phone. Now you can take the Sherlock with you wherever you go. This is so cool. I'm going to tell you some stories about this. But we've got all of the cool features. And why do we concentrate on the mobile app? Because when you leave your house, there's 3 things you don't leave without. Your keys, your wallet, and your cell phone. And I know people, if they are driving to work and they forgot their cell phone, they will turn around, risk being late to go get their phone, right? Because you can't go without your phone. In the future, this is going to be the only thing you leave home without. Because your phone's going to be able to act as your keys. It's going to be able to act as your wallet. Apple Pay and all that stuff's coming out. And all the other things that you're going to be able to do with your phone. We call this the mouse of the world. Here's a couple of features. Be able to shop. I want you to imagine, this is my wife. I've been to Sherlock for a year now, but it wasn't until the mobile app that she's really started to get engaged. Because she has the mobile app on her phone. So she went shopping. We got Christmas season now. So now what she does, she goes to the store, looks at what she wants, she types it in on the Sherlock, hits the search button, and the Sherlock's going to search to see if there's a better deal. So she price compares right there. See, my wife is the person that says, I like to go to the store and touch and feel and smell and try things on. I'm not too trusty of online shopping yet. Great, with the mobile app, take it with you. That's what she does. We also have daily deals, which is geolocation in your local area. Businesses always have coupons and specials and deals. So your daily deals are going to look up those specials for you. We even have search for hotels and flights. You can book your flights and hotels. My wife is taking a trip to London next year to go see a Hamlet play. And she looked up a hotel and found a price for a week. Then she said, wait a minute. She Sherlocked it and found the same hotel for the whole week. It was $300 less. Or 300 pounds, as they say back over there.
Oh, much more.
Less. And it's the same exact place. Now, she's going to Sherlock everything. Everything she does. Plus, we have the price scanner. What that means is imagine going into the store, looking at an item, looking at the price, pulling out the barcode, scan the barcode. We were playing around with one of the items back there. Just scan it. and see if it's going to come up with a better price on the scanner. A lot of stores even have, we will match your price. So if you find it less somewhere else, you could go up to the teller and say, hey look, on the phone I found it for less. Will you match the price? If they say no, fine. 2 clicks, I just order it myself and have it delivered to my home. Simple as that. We also have a unique marketing system that can allow you to track all of your Sherlock customers around the world. You think we're the only ones who shop online in the United States? It's actually bigger overseas than here. Because overseas, people's first time getting access to the internet is through their mobile devices. In America, our first time is through the desktop computer. So overseas, they are jumping on the Sherlock like no other. Now, 2013, Shopping Sherlock helped save both time and money for our users 5.6 million times. That may seem like a lot, but in the next few years, that'll be 5.6 billion times. CEO, Michael Wiedder. Based out of Santa Monica, California, we are a 2-year-old company. We've been in profit since our 2nd month in business. We're a debt-free company. He has a lot of internet experience. He's been on the internet before any of us. He's an online expo guru. He has years of success, funded and consulted for other network marketing companies, and very involved in the nonprofit organization. He sits on the board of directors for the Hollenbach Youth Center right here in East LA. So those of you that may be familiar with that, with the inner city games, I've had a chance to attend some of those events. Very professional, and I love that our company gives back. We even have a holiday give back season where we give back to charities and different events, which you will hear about. Michael will talk about those things. We're also backed by Laurel Langmeyer. She's known as the Millionaire Maker. She's a best-selling author of 5 books. She's helped thousands of people become millionaires. She's been on a movie called The Secret. You can look her up on the internet. She's also an investor, co-owner, and affiliate with Shopping Sherlock. Now, if you're still confused about what does the Sherlock actually do? Well, contrary to popular belief, we're not a shopping site. You don't buy anything from us. We're more closely related to Google. How many of you are familiar with Google? How many of you have ever Googled anything before? Everybody, right? Well, when you Google something, does Google bring up to you the cheapest price? No. It brings up to you the most popular websites, the websites that have the most internet traffic, the websites that have spent the most money on advertising dollars. Who has time to go through 4 million hits, 400 million hits? I never go past the first or second page of Google. Only time is when I Google myself just to see what's out there. But what does Sherlock do? The same exact thing. The only difference is we are going to find the best deal by searching the internet, all the major search engines, and price compare for you in a matter of seconds. So we say don't Google it, Sherlock. It's going to help you save both time and money. And here's a couple of examples. If you have a computer at home, you have a print cartridge. Print cartridges, Office Depot for this cost $71.49. We Sherlocked it and got it for $13.99. That's $57 savings on something you're going to buy anyway. How about this? VR Pro Driver. From the Nike store, it costs $479. We Sherlocked it, found a site called Global Golf for $149.99. It's the same exact golf clubs. People say, is this swap meet? Is this hand me down? No, it's the same brand. It's just a different store selling it at a different price. Anybody in here watch the show Scandal? Thursday nights? Olivia Pope. My mom and my wife watch it just to see what she's going to wear. And at the end of the show, the credits, they say who the designer is, and they look it up. Season 1, she wore a coat like this, except it was white. And they looked it up. Macy's had an online sale for $219. Sherlocked it, found it for $134 plus free shipping. That's $85 savings on the same exact thing. You know what got my mom? There was some purse that she wanted. And my mom is high class. She likes expensive stuff. Purse was like $600, $700 regular price. She found it in a color that she couldn't find anywhere for $250 less. She was sold at that point. You know what got my father? My father loves to work out. He loves GNC Nutritional, the powders. He found one of his powders cost him like 60-something bucks, one big case. He Sherlocked it, found 2 cases for $40. He was in at that point. So as an affiliate, you can benefit even more. See, there's only 2 things we do here in Shopping Sherlock. We help people save time and money on items that they're going to buy for anyway. And the best part is, we give the product away for free. Who here loves free? Yeah, everybody loves free. See, that's the best thing about this business. I've been in other businesses where I have to actually sell a product. And I'm not a salesman. I can't sell fire to an Eskimo or ice water in the Mojave Desert. But I could certainly give something away for free. Think about that.
Yep.
See, if you're in a company where you have to give or you have to sell a product, a lot of times you end up buying the product yourself to be garage qualified, right? And a lot of times you're selling a product that most people can't buy, can't afford, can't sell. You end up having it stocked up in the garage, the van, or the trunk of your car. Go into my kitchen right now, my pantry, I still got products there from over the years. And my wife's like, why don't you throw that out? It's been expired. Like, do you know how much money I paid for that stuff? It's the principle of the matter. And it's there to remind me, never again, to do that again. But here, we give it away for free. And as our customers benefit, so do we. Let's go back to how this happens. Remember I talked about Facebook and Google and those companies that offer their product for free. How do they get paid? When was the last time you ever paid to access Facebook? Do you know in North America, for every active Facebook account is worth $6 to Facebook? How? Advertisers want to pay Facebook for access to their list, so to speak, all of us. So the more we're using Facebook, the more money Facebook makes. Sherlock's the same way. For every active Sherlock customer, when you give that Sherlock away for free and they're searching and they're buying products, guess what? You're going to get paid. 2 years ago when the Sherlock first got started, it was worth 6 cents per Sherlock. When I first got started, it was worth $1, about $1.20 there. That was last year. Now, we are at $2.20 this month per Sherlock you give away. So here's one thing I like to tell people, because we have all types of people in the room. People who want to make a couple $100 a month, people who want to make thousands of dollars a month, people who want to make a fortune. All walks of life, from professionals to stay-at-home moms, from people who love to build organizations, from people who hate to talk to people. So I like to say, how would you like to earn an income without having to recruit anybody onto your team, just by giving away our Sherlocks and showing them how to use it and save money when they go shopping? So what if you gave it away to 50 active Sherlock customers? That's over $100 a month as of today. What if you had 500 you gave away? Richard here has access to a lot of churches, organizations, thousands of people. We're in shopping season right now. Everybody's spending money. Here's one thing I understand. Most people live on a fixed income. They go to work, they get paid, they pay their bills, and whatever's left over they use to buy food, clothing, shopping, commerce, entertainment, technology. That's e-commerce. But what if we could show those same people how to add an extra $150 to $300 a month back into their pocket? And because you help them save money, you're going to make money. 500 families actively using it, over $1,000 a month. There's no limit to how many of these Sherlocks you can give away. It's just a download of the app and showing them how to use it. Our goal is to have it up to $4 per active Sherlock. Imagine that. $4 for every Sherlock you give away they're actively using it. Now, all references to income implied or stated to the document and the shopping Sherlock comp plan depends solely on web app usage and does not guarantee any level of income or earnings to any affiliate. Earnings from the shopping Sherlock comp plan depend solely on web app usage, sales, and each affiliate's skill, ability, and personal application. So nothing's guaranteed. It's based on your work ethic. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, what is the cost of getting started? Most companies charge $500 to $1,300. And guys, come on in. We've got some seats for you guys. I want you standing up in the back. But most companies charge $500 to $1,300 just to sign up. Ours is a one-time $249, and we did that for a reason. We want to make sure, number one, it's affordable. Not just for Americans, but around the world. We are a global company. The other thing is, a lot of people fail in business or quit because they say they spent more money than they made. $249 is less than the cost of your cell phone, your smartphone. Monthly fee is $34.95. That's less than your monthly cell phone bill. That's $1.15 a day. That's less than a day's cup of coffee. You now have ownership in your own business in the fastest growing industry on the planet. Yeah, you good right there, Stevie? For $34.95 a month. Now here's another way that we get paid. Now understand that Sherlock pays out 68% on every dollar that comes through our door. 68%. There's 9 ways that we get paid. Here's another way. by building yourself a team and an organization. Anybody ever heard of J. Paul Getty? He's the first recorded billionaire in American history. He said one thing: I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. Meaning, if you're earning 100% of your own and you get sick, you get terminally ill, for whatever reason, you can't work anymore, what happens to your income? It stops. But if you're earning at least 1% of 100 people's efforts, and 10% of your organization cannot work, you still have 90% income coming in. It's called leverage. So here's what happens. You have a couple of customers that's saving money and they say, Brandon, I want to make money giving this away. How do I get started? So you sell them the Sherlock system sales. So for every 2, you're going to get a $100 fast start bonus. Every 2 Sherlock systems sold. There's no limit to how many you can personally enroll in the business. You're going to get $100 for every 2, but we only have 2 teams. One on your left and one on your right. That's it. So what happens if you enroll more than 2 people? This is what happens. You now create spillover. The next person goes under the next available position. Create spillover. So now you are now benefiting the people on your team. So here's what happens, how we create a cycle for you for extra bonus. Every time you have 2 on the left and 2 on the right that pay their $249 for the Sherlock system, you're going to get a $50 cycle bonus. Now that may not sound like a whole lot of money to you, but here's one thing that I quickly understand that Mr. Wiedder pointed out to me. See, in my last business, it was a unit level. I got paid only 7 levels deep. I put in 6,000 people in business in a year and a half. But I was only getting paid on 2,000 of them because 4,000 was below my 7th level. And my biggest producers was below my 7th level. Here, we get paid through infinity, all the way down. I have a large team in Japan growing, and the first person that got started is on my 20th level. I didn't know him. I met him after he joined the business. So I love this concept here. Now, we have something that's also called the power of 4, because one thing we know, when somebody gets started, the first thing we want you to do is make your money back as fast as possible. So we say, this is your goal, your first week in business. You want to do 4 personal Sherlock sales. Your first week in business. You're going to make $250 right there. You just made your money back. You're in the black. There's no risk involved. There's no, I'm spending more money than I'm making. You just made your money back. But the key is duplication. You help those 4 do the same thing you did. Make their money back in their first week. And if you duplicate this 4, getting 4, getting 4, getting 4, you're going to meet whatever income goal that you've set for yourself. Here's what happens the second month. Because now you're paying your $34.95 monthly membership fee, which includes not only your Sherlock, but your back office, your tracking, the blogging, the branding, the coupon, everything that the Sherlock has to offer. There's companies out there that their monthly website fee is more than that. So we're getting that at a steal. But every 2 on the left and 2 on the right that pay their $34.95, you're going to get a $10 cycle. And that's every single month through infinity, all the way down. Now here's our ladder of success. We all start off as an affiliate. As an affiliate, we can get paid on all the active Sherlock customers we give away and they're actively using it. As an affiliate. But if you want to earn more income and get leverage, you want to get promoted to the first position, what's called Star Affiliate. You must have 5 personal Sherlock sales, customers 5 personal customers, and enroll 2 people in the business. You do so, you're a Star Affiliate. I will also make you your very own promo video. We'll have your pictures, your website. You can post it up on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, to brand yourself. But you now get to get paid on all the $50 and $10 cycles on your team through infinity. But the stars can earn up to $2,000 a week as a Star Affiliate. Who here would like to be able to have at least $2,000 a week coming in? That's just the first position, ladies and gentlemen. The next position is called Power Affiliate. As a Power Affiliate, have 10 personal Sherlock customers, personally enroll 4 people in the business, have 4 Sherlock system sales, and a total of 12 people on your team. Once you do that, you get a raise. You can earn up to $3,000 a week on the $50 and the $10 cycles. But also now, you're going to get a 20% check match on the people you personally enrolled, all the Sherlock customers that they have. So if you enroll someone and they're making $1,000 a month on the Sherlock usage, you're making $200 a month on those Sherlock customers. Customers you did not sign up. The next position is Global, and this is where everything changes. This is the game changer. As a Global, help 12 people become a Power just like you. give away 20 Sherlock download apps. If you do this in your first 180 days, you can get a $2,000 bonus. $2,000 bonus check. You can also earn up to $20,000 a week on the $10, $50, and the $10 cycles. But what I liked, what really caught my attention, is another 20% check match. Now, I've been in companies that offer 20% check match, but it's basically on the people you personally enroll. With the Sherlock, you're going to get a 20% check match on the $50 and the $10 cycles on every single person on your team through infinity until the next global hit. So here's an example. Someone says, Brandon, you know, I'm here for the big money. How many people would I need to have Sherlock customers to be able to make at least $10,000 a month? Say, well, if you help 600 people earn $100 a month each, that's $20 per person, that's $12,000 a month. He said, I'm in. What if you had 6,000 people? What if you had more? So we have people in our company earning a 20% check match on thousands of people. What if, since we're not even in Mexico yet, you know somebody in Mexico, you bring a leader on board, and you're going to get a check match on everybody in Mexico. Does anybody know anybody in Mexico? Think about that. Also, what really got me, which is why my flag is planted right here, is the equity. This is the only network marketing company out there right now that is offering its reps equity in the company. You're no longer considered an affiliate. You're now a co-owner with Shopping Sherlock. 2.5% of the company is given to all the globals. So when, not if, but when we become a billion-dollar company, that's $25 million in the equity pool for the globals. So a lot of you guys that is looking for security, because they think that job brings you security. One thing I know about that, I can decide to go that route, the 40-40 plan, where I have no more 401k, my pension is gone, my savings is wiped out, my house is a liability and not an asset, and the only other option is become a Walmart greeter until they fire all the Walmart customers and employees. Why? Because Walmart's now going online to compete with Amazon, so you can't even be a Walmart greeter anymore. Watch how many holiday season jobs are lost this year. Sears just announced 5,500 jobs are cutting by December 31st.
Wow.
And they're just the first. They're not the last.
They're closing about 50, maybe 70 stores as well.
And stores. But something, when you see closing like this, are these stores actually really going out of business? No. They're making record profits. They're just shifting their business model to where the consumers are, which is online. Online shopping. So why pay to have a storefront, and why pay employees when I can go directly to the customer through online? The next position is called Diamond Affiliate. Diamond, you get a raise. You get the same as a global. You earn $20,000 a week. But now you're going to get a 30% check match on your entire organization until the next global hits. When the next global hits, that global's getting 20%, but you're now going to get a 10% below all of the globals. So either a 30 or a 10%. I love what Chuck Williams says. He's our diamond in St. Louis. 50% of his income is through the check match. Helping people on your team make some money. I love that concept. If you want to make a lot of money, you help people on your team make money. And you want to make even more money, help people out there save money on items that they're going to buy anyway. I don't have to convince you to go buy shoes. I don't have to convince you to go shopping. You're going to do it anyway. Also, we only have 2 diamonds in the company right now. We need to have 100 diamonds in the United States alone. We only have 1 in the United States. We have none in California. 30-something million people here. We have 1 global in Southern California. Just me. That's it. Who's the next globals in this room? Who's the next diamonds? See, when I talk about timing and positioning, this is wide open for everybody. You're not only going to override your city and your state, you're going to override countries. One thing that I know is, because the next thing is to go ahead and get started. You want to get with the person who invited you out. Some of you are invited out from people in London, some from all over the country. Whoever invited you out, you want to get back with them, pull out your credit card, get signed up. You don't want to hesitate and wait. I have a gentleman on my team in France who got started back in March. He wasn't ready to do the business yet, but he was smart enough to at least sign up. He did absolutely nothing. But what happened was his upline sponsored a woman named Baby Lynn. She failed on his first level. He still hadn't enrolled anybody. She's in Japan. He's in France. She went global in 53 days. She doesn't know him. She never spoke to him. And he sits on top of half of Japan, even though he's in France. So it's all about getting positioned. Because one funny thing is, if you don't talk to somebody, if you don't get started, somebody you know is going to tell you. We have a gentleman, I'm going to be on a radio show in LA next Friday. And a gentleman that's in our business. And he's from Beverly Hills. His sponsor's in Japan. So I had to go to Japan to get to somebody in Beverly Hills. This is worldwide. Who do you know? You want to know what the fastest growing country is in the company right now? Kazakhstan. How many of you can find Kazakhstan on a map?
I know.
It's a little country above Afghanistan that was part of the Soviet Union. And that country was ravaged by war when the Soviet Union was at war with Afghanistan in the 80s. The United States was backing the Taliban at that time to fight off the Soviet Union. Then when the Soviet Union collapsed, it formed Kazakhstan. Do you know the average monthly income there is? $200 a month. They see Sherlock at $249 and in what, 8-9 weeks, 500 something people in the business.
Wow.
They saw opportunity. Who here sees opportunity? That's what this is about. Now we're going to switch gears, but I want to let you know, when you get started with us, we're not going to throw you out to the ocean to see if you can sink or swim. We're going to teach you every step of the way on how to build your business. You don't have to be an e-com specialist. All you have to do is be Don King and invite. Peeking in, who do you know that loves to shop online? Who do you know that would like to save money? Who do you know that would like to make money by giving away a free app? That's all you need to know. We have webinars and presentations that take place daily. I want to get back into doing local presentations like this. I walked off my job from my living room, doing it all from the computer. But there's nothing like face-to-face. Human interaction. That's what we want to start here in Los Angeles. But we've got a system in place to help you build. And since we're in Los Angeles, you guys have the biggest treasure of all. The owner of the company is right here. Do you know UK would die to have him in their backyard? The Philippines, we're having a huge events in the Philippines right now with Global Power from South Africa. Pete Hamby's traveling over there with Willie Davis. They would love to have Michael Wiedder in their backyard. We have them right here to help build and for credibility for our business. And what I want to do now is bring Mr. Wiedder to the front of the room. So before I bring him up, just so you guys know, Mr. Wiedder, like I said before, come on up, Michael. Mr. Wiedder, don't clap yet, not yet. But Mr. Wiedder, I have a lot of respect because it's been in this business, in this industry for a while. I've had a chance to work with a lot of CEOs and see, you know, behind the curtain of companies of what's really going on. And I have not met anybody with the integrity, with the sense of purpose, with the vision that this is not a fly-by-night scheme or scam. This is not here just for 6 months. This is not a money grab. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Long-term business. The next 15 to 20-year game plan for this to be a billion-dollar company, and he cares about the people. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned. He listens to the reps, he cares for the reps, and he goes out of his way to help anybody who needs help. So without further ado, let me bring to the front of the room CEO of Shopping Sherlock, Mr. Michael Wiedder.
Thank you, and I want to say good morning to everybody. I appreciate you coming out today. You know, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my story. I grew up in Whittier, actually, not too far from here. And then I moved out to Santa Monica. I went to college out in Santa Monica at UCLA and moved out to Santa Monica. Oops.
Go ahead, that's just a...
Okay. And when I got out of college, I basically went to work for a company out here called Pitney Bowes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Pitney Bowes or not. Out of Carson, California. It was my first job coming out of college, and I was there for 8 years basically with Pitney Bowes. But I always had kind of an entrepreneurial kind of thing. You know, I always wanted to start my own business. I always had that kind of entrepreneurial kind of itch, you know, if you would. And so I ended up leaving Pitney Bowes, took 3 of my friends, basically my colleagues from Pitney Bowes, And we started a company actually and went to, I don't know if you guys remember, Columbia School of Broadcasting.
I remember that.
We actually did, and this was in the late 80s. Their broadcasting division was not doing well, so we went to them and formed Columbia School of Computer Science. And at the time, it was when PCs were really first coming into play, and we were teaching DBase and WordPerfect and Lotus 1-2-3, basically, way back when, for those of you that remember kind of back that time. And so, you know, I did that, I kind of, you know, and we ended up selling that company. And then what happened is I went to work with, or got involved with the Hollenbeck Youth Center when they were doing the inner city games in 1992. I was actually producing the inner city games for them and with them, and we took that, you know, to 15 different cities throughout the United States, servicing about 500,000 youth. Fortunate to work with Arnold Schwarzenegger back then as well. He was one of the ones that originally also was the executive commissioner of the inner city games. And then an interesting thing happened to me, which really changed my life. And you know, there's,
Your
you
line
guys.
is now unmuted.
What is that actually?
It's the live stream
Oh, it is, okay. Not a problem. And is the live stream right here, so are they still?
right here.
Okay.
There's the cameras. If you stay right in this area,
Okay.
they,
We'll do
can,
that.
they can see you.
You know, so then basically what happened was, you know, in 1994, Netscape actually came out with their browser. A guy named Mark Andreessen invented Navigator, for what you guys remember, and the internet started to go mainstream. And I saw it at that time, and I said, you know something? This has an opportunity to really change the world. And at that time, I was producing really, you know, trade shows and working with the inner city games, producing in different cities. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and start a company and produce trade shows and conferences for internet companies. And that was in 1995. We started here at LA at the LA Convention Center, and then took it to San Francisco and New York. And we were actually helped to launch a number of the internet companies, the first internet companies. It was really their first exposure to the general public. So companies like AOL and Yahoo, and you know, in LA, Hotmail had a little 10x10 booth at our first show, basically. And they met Microsoft there, and Microsoft ended up buying them for $425 million at that time. Mark Cuban basically had a little company called Broadcast.com, exhibited at our San Francisco show, basically, with a little 10x10 booth, and Yahoo went ahead and bought them for $2 billion. So it was, you know, really at the forefront of what happened with the internet space. And so I was just, you know, just fortunate. The timing was, you know, we got involved at the time, in the right time, and were able to ride that internet wave. I then started an online advertising agency. And, you know, very fortuitously, actually, I was working with a company that was one of the first companies that was doing video email. And this was actually a network marketing company, and they asked me to come on and actually help to build a corporate marketing program for them, to take it to companies and so forth, the video email. And so and this was back in the basically, when was this? 2003. And what happened was the first deal, so I went to a company out in Orange that you guys might know of called Budget Blinds. And Budget Blinds basically at the time, it was a franchise. It was, you know, they basically had where it was a franchise for franchisees to come and you know, they did blinds and so forth for the homes. And so I went out to them and I brought in a deal for $23,000. And the owners, and I took that back to the owners of the company basically, and they gave me $1,000 out of that to actually execute the campaign for Budget Blinds. They kind of threw me under the bus. And so what I did was I went to Budget Blinds and I said, hey, I believe in what you guys are doing, and I'd like to basically do your advertising and marketing for you. And I developed a pretty good relationship with the owners of that company. They said, okay, let's, you know, we'll go ahead and do that. I formed my own online advertising agency. And needless to say, you know, we took them from 200 franchises to over 1,000 franchises. And because of the success that I had with that, we were able to pick up Supercuts as a client and Cost Cutters as a client. And that was really, you know, again, just being in the right place at the right time. Online advertising, you know, for those of you that have been in, you know, in business for a while, at that time it was a lot of opt-in lists. So you could actually send out millions of emails to people, and you didn't need that much of a, you know, if you were able to get a 1% response at that time with millions of emails, it was a very successful campaign. And so I was able to ride that internet wave at that time, but I always had an affinity for, again, direct sales and network marketing. I originally got started when I was with the Columbia School of Computer Science. When I was doing that, I had somebody come to me and talk about network marketing, and I got involved at that time, and the company unfortunately didn't last long, but I really got a feel for that way of doing business. And I really liked it, and I saw the opportunity with it. So after my success, basically, as with my own online advertising agency, I gave the seed capital to 2 network marketing companies to get started. One in San Diego, one here in Southern California out in the Valley. I put the CEO in place in one. I consulted for some others. But I always wanted to have an internet-based network marketing company, because I knew that that was basically where the future was. And I talked to one of my friends, a gentleman by the name of Cameron, who founded a company called Price Grabber. I don't know if you guys remember Price Grabber or not. They were really the first comparison shopping engine. And they ended up selling, Cameron sold the company to Experian. We talked a little bit about, where the trends were going to be happening in the internet space. Now, again, here we are, just to let you know, to fast forward, this was really probably 2011, started to look at it. And we all, after talking to him and so forth, and I really respected his opinion and what he'd been through and so forth, we knew that e-commerce and really mobile and the growth in mobile were going to be the big trends. And so that was really the birth of Shopping Sherlock. It was taking basically a concept, direct sales. We saw what happened with, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the LinkedIns, everybody that basically gave the product away for free. And we knew with the growth of e-commerce and what was going to happen with mobile and mobile commerce, that there was an opportunity to be able to create a company, to be able to give the product away for free, and have people make money as basically people benefited from the use of the product, and build a team of people that did the same thing. And so that was really the birth of Shopping Sherlock. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about really what's happened, because we started in 2012, in May of 2012. Really for the first 6 months, it was really putting a platform together. Our technology, the platform, some of the partnerships, because we had to go out basically and partner with the top affiliate networks all around the world and so forth. And then 2013 is really when we hit the ground running. We were profitable, really looking back in May of 2012 we started. We were profitable in June. So as you guys know, for those of you that have started a business and had to go ahead and build that business, to be profitable in your second month in business really, says something about the potential of the business. And not only were we profitable in that second month, but then, if you look at it from the first year to the second year, this is our second year, we've got a shot to triple here from our second year full, to the first year. So we're in front of some incredible trends, and we've created already some stories. We had our first $1 million earner, basically, Simon Brooks out of the UK, in a little over 2 years. So that tells you really what the potential is with regards to our company. So let me go ahead and get started. That's a little bit of my background, so let me go ahead and get started. This is the... I'm going to do that. Okay, that's right. Okay, great. And I think that you guys would all agree with this. When you're talking about a business, what you're looking at, basically, success is getting in front of the right trends at the right time and then being able to execute. It's really timing and the execution. And I'll tell you, it was interesting to me. When I was back, and you guys will probably remember this, back in 1995, when the internet was first getting started, you had companies out there like, besides AOL, you had CompuServe, you had Lycos, you had Prodigy, you had Alta Vista. Anybody remember any of those companies at all? Okay, it was. So we had all the. Okay, so we had all those companies, and then what happened was Google basically came with a better model and executed it better, and pretty much just took over that marketplace. Anybody remember MySpace? MySpace was basically, there was Friend Finder, there was, a couple different social networks, and then MySpace, and then Facebook came in and basically, became the story, really. And MySpace it's interesting, and this is the way that it used to work in the internet space. The guys from MySpace that ended up selling to Fox, I don't know if you guys remember the story or not, but what happened was that MySpace originally, or one of the guy that sold it, that became the CEO of MySpace, had a company that was one of the sponsors of our online expo back in 1995. It was called, and the name of his company was iMall. And iMall basically had a concept where you would have a business and you would put the business up, and then people would go basically to the internet, to iMall, and they'd see all these just different businesses. It was kind of like GeoCities. I don't know if you guys remember GeoCities. GeoCities was just for individuals. iMalls was for businesses. They probably, in their first 2 years, lost somewhere around $20 million with that concept, basically with iMall. But then they ended up selling it to Excite for like $300 million. And then the guy, basically his name is Richard Rosenblatt, ended up going and basically leveraging that and became the CEO of MySpace, and ended up selling MySpace to Rupert Murdoch and Fox for $600 million. And now basically he took a major loss on that. But it really is about, those days are kind of over a little bit, for the most part. I mean, they're coming back now because you see these incredible valuations that are being put on internet companies these days. But again, part of it is really about the execution and being able to execute. And here's really what we've done with Shopping Sherlock and where we've positioned you in front of these incredible trends that are happening. And Brandon touched on these trends a little bit, but I'm going to elaborate on them so that you've got really a full understanding of what's happening, not only here in the United States and not only here in California, which has really been the hub when you've got Silicon Valley, as you guys know, which has been really the hub of innovation that's happened, and it happened in the internet space and in the e-commerce space, other than Amazon, which has been the kind of the benchmark, which started in Washington. But when you look at it and you look at all the different companies that have come out of here, and now they're trying to make Santa Monica Silicon Beach. So you've got a lot of the companies, basically the internet companies, that are now locating also in Santa Monica. But when you look at what's happening in e-commerce and mobile, and let me just tell you, the mobile situation and what's happening in mobile commerce, everybody knew that it was coming. And a lot of times, sometimes you're ahead of that curve, because they say that these things are coming and coming. Well, I was just at the big mobile conference that they had in San Francisco. And the companies, all the companies were there, the Facebooks, the eBays, the Amazons, the Yahoos, the Googles. They've been all basically taken aback, shocked by how quickly it's now happened. The tsunami that's now happened with mobile, and now with mobile commerce. I was just this last week, I was at the conference called Money 2020 in Las Vegas. And it's unbelievable what's happening now with these companies that are positioning themselves on that mobile device with mobile wallets so that you can pay from your mobile phone. Right. We had, with basically Apple Pay, and Apple Pay came in, I don't know who you guys bank with, but I'm with Bank of America, and Bank of America has been advertising, Apple Pay now and their relationship, with Apple Pay really for the last 3 weeks heavily, and they signed up basically all the banks, with Apple Pay to be able to pay via the mobile device. And again, in 2015, I'm going to tell you guys, you're going to see another revolution happening with being able to pay with that mobile phone. It's just incredible. Facebook now considers themselves, as Brandon mentioned, they don't even call themselves a social network anymore. They're a mobile company now. Yahoo now says that they're mobile first. So when you look at basically, and from my standpoint, I look at 1994 and I look at the internet and how the internet really evolved, and you look at how it's disrupted so many different and changed so many industries and so many lives around the world, which we all know, we haven't seen anything yet. It's really just starting. And this little device, the one thing about the internet is you had to be like on a PC or something like that originally to be able to access it, and it was slow. Now with the mobile phone, basically you can with the smartphones, you can access the internet anywhere, and this is the most personal device that we've ever seen, basically technology device in the history of the world, because people take it anywhere. And it's not just our generation, and excuse me for getting fervent and passionate about this, because I want you guys to really understand what's happening here. Because the interesting thing is that Baylor just did a study on the girls basically in college, the college students at Baylor, that showed that the students, the female students, are on their mobile phones 12 hours a day. Wow. More than they sleep, more than they study, they're on that mobile phone. And I tell you, I've got a 17-year-old daughter, and I think that the high school girls are on it more than that. I think they're literally 14 hours a day. It drives me crazy because she'll be with her friends and she's basically taking video of each other and she's putting it up on Snapchat and she's waiting for basically all her friends on Snapchat and Twitter and Instagram to comment on her videos as she's basically with her friends. That's the way they interact. So, you know, and it's not just the college students. I was with Chuck Williams basically, and we were talking to a gentleman, and it's the same thing with my girlfriend. My girlfriend was not even, you know, 3 years ago, she basically had a Yahoo email address. That was really it. She wasn't on Facebook, it was the Yahoo email address was all she did. You know, now basically here, she's not even on the computer anymore. She's basically, and she's on everything. She's got an e-commerce business now. She developed an e-commerce business, but she doesn't even really use her laptop anymore. She's doing everything on this, you know, and we talked to, you know, Chuck and I were talking to somebody that was interested in the business as well. This gentleman was 65 years old, his wife was 63, and his wife, you know, he was saying his wife doesn't even go on the computer anymore. Everything now with regards to what she does with email and checking and you know, the internet and on Facebook and everything is now through this device. So it's not just the kids basically that have grown up with this technology that are using it and kind of addicted to it. You know, the reality is, and I can't, you know, I try to fight it. Believe me, I've tried to fight it with my 17-year-old daughter because it drives me crazy. You know, and I continue to warn her, you know, you got to watch out what you put on Snapchat and what you do on, you know, and I try to warn her and that kind of thing, but it's ingrained with their lives and there's no changing it. So you just got to really figure out how do you make the best use out of it and really how do you profit from it. And I will tell you the interesting thing is that in Silicon Valley, what's happened in the internet space, in order to start an internet company, you generally have to raise a lot of money to be able to do that through venture capital or somehow, and to be able to build a successful company. The thing that I wanted to do with our company with Shopping Sherlock was give everybody around the world finally an opportunity to profit from these incredible trends that are happening around the world. Because nobody's done that, because the reality is that, you know, who built Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg built the platform for Facebook, but we built Facebook. We're the ones that invited our friends to be able to come in and sign up for Facebook. We're the ones that provide the content on Facebook that keeps people coming back to check Facebook so that they can make money off of it. You know, we wanted to change that paradigm, and that's what we've done with Shopping Sherlock, because you just give it away for free. You make money as people benefit from the use of it, and you build a team of people that do the same thing, and you can build that team anywhere in the world. Brandon gave some interesting stories, but the reality is the story about Japan, there was more people that were really involved in that, because Brandon, there was a gentleman by the name of Jairus that knew somebody by the name of Dwight, that knew somebody basically in France, basically, and then France, the gentleman in France knew another gentleman by the name of Dino, who basically lived in Japan, but is American, but teaches English to the Japanese, who brought in basically Kay, Baby Lynn, over there, and all of a sudden Brandon had an organization growing in Japan, you know, a significant organization growing in Japan, and that was probably, how many levels down from you that you didn't? 20. That's the incredible thing, basically, about this business, is you never know. And you know what I'm so excited about Los Angeles here? We are a window to the rest of the world. For those of you, I was born in 1958, basically, in Los Angeles, and I've seen the changes that have happened, basically, in our city, and we are a cultural melting pot, basically. And you never know when you're going to find somebody that's basically got centers of influence anywhere in the world. Another great story. Gentleman by the name of Fraser Brooks. For those of you who don't know Fraser. Fraser is 26 years old. And Fraser was from the UK, from England. Fraser did some basically was on Skype, and he found somebody on Skype, just doing a little marketing on Skype, and he found somebody by the name of Sergey. Sergey was from Russia, but owned a Russian restaurant in the UK. And Sergey saw this, wanted to advertise his restaurant using Sherlock, got involved with Sherlock, introduced some people basically to, from Israel, also some Russians from Israel, who then introduced some people from Russia. Fraser now has about 3,000 people from Russia that are part of his group. And this was just from meeting Sergey. Fraser's 26, Sergey is probably 50 years old. And Sergey, if you're watching, I apologize if you're not 50, so he's probably 50 years old. And again, and the interesting thing about Sergey runs his own restaurant. That restaurant owns him. He's at that restaurant usually from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And what he was looking for was just an additional revenue stream. He knew that the only way that he was going to retire, basically, if he was able to sell that restaurant and be able to do it, which is a lot of times not easy to do because sometimes restaurants are difficult to be able to sell. So he was looking for an additional revenue stream and happened to pick up on this. And all of a sudden, Fraser now has, all this huge organization growing in Russia. And here's a kid that basically is 26 years old that's making 6 figures now with Shopping Sherlock. How many college students do you know that have gotten out of college now and times have changed? And I tell you, I went to UCLA. When I was at UCLA, it was $435 a quarter.
Yeah.
My daughter basically wants to go to the university.